Hey guys, SB Fanatic62 here, posting a very late response to Silvernox91's rant about where he thinks the Sonic games stand. It was an interesting topic, and a good one too, and so I decided to create one myself. Um, yeah, I think Silvernox91 put it best when he said that, Sega thinks that whenever Sonic's in a tough spot, then they just revert to like doing some sort of going back to the classics thing. And not only is it not right, but it also really hasn't been working. I mean, here are a couple of examples of good going back to the classics. Let's see. Sonic Mega Collection and Sonic Mega Collection Plus, though that was good. That was excellent. Sonic Gems Collection, I've never played it or any of the games on it, but from what I've heard, it was pretty good. And they've also had some not so good, reverting to the classic ideas. Example A. Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis for the Game Boy Advance. No, just don't go there. It's just terrible. And then they say that Sonic Unleashed is somehow going back to Sonic's roots. What the heck? That is not going back to Sonic's roots. I don't care what the heck they say. It made a little, with some 2D gameplay and only being able to play as Sonic. And let me tell you, that's something else. I hate when they try to revert to classic games. They have an only Sonic playable. That is the worst. I like multiple characters. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but having Tails playable and Knuckles and even Shadow, he's not totally bad, and Silver, and all those guys, alright? Even Amy, well, I don't really like Amy. But, oh well, I just had to... anyway. Yeah, I hate it when they do that, and Sonic Unleashed is a great game, besides the fact that he is the only playable character. Technically, there are two playable characters, if you include Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Werehog. But that doesn't really count. I just don't like it. Anyway, Sonic hasn't really been having good games over the past few years. I mean, those games back in the 1990s, they were awesome. I've never played the Sonic Adventure games, Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2. But from what I've heard, they're pretty darn awesome. Sonic Heroes, I've played that, I have it, and I sort of like it, not as much as the other games, but other people say it's not that good. I actually kind of like it, but, I guess it's just not as good as the adventure games, and I haven't played the adventure games, so that's just a problem for me. Anyway, then there was Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, it could have been better. I don't really like the weapons. You should just leave weapons out of Sonic. Sonic shouldn't have weapons. And then there was Sonic Riders. Those were, and Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Those were okay. It sort of goes back to, the whole speed theory with Sonic, and it's, racing. That's just speed, what Sonic does, but Sonic wasn't necessarily created for racing. He was created for just speed, but racing, that works. But I'm not here to talk about the Riders games. I'm here to talk about overall where Sonic games stand. So, Sonic Unleashed. Perfect. Almost. I got this game a few days ago, and I'm already loving it. it's just great, but I don't see how it's going back to Sonic's roots, and I don't like how Sonic's the only playable character. So, I think that this whole Dark Age Sonic, and people say that, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Next Gen, I forgot to mention that, they're saying they sort of suck. I've never played Sonic Next Gen, so don't ask me about that. I might sometime, and maybe agree with you that maybe it does suck. I'm not sure, because I've never played it. But Sonic's sort of like in a dark spot right now. No one is paying attention to Sonic. No one is... They're all getting different video games. Well, Sonic, yeah, it's not doing so good right now. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the characters. Now, don't get me wrong here. I am actually siding with Sega with the characters. I like the new characters. Silver and Blaze, and I think they're good, but Silvernux mentioned retro characters like Fang, and yeah, I would like for some retro characters to come back, and they did sort of do that in Sonic Heroes. They brought the Chaotix back, and I'd like to see more retro characters, but I'm not really complaining. I haven't played that many classic Sonic games, okay? I'm not one of those guys who grew up with Sonic. I just picked up Sonic Advance 3 like 3 years ago, and then that's when I got into Sonic. That's it. I didn't grow up with Sonic like maybe some of you others out there. But I think I've played some of Sonic's classic games, and I actually think the classic games are some of the best. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I might even go as far to say that it's possibly the best video game like ever. Okay, maybe not ever, but it's pretty darn good. If you haven't played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, do it. Get yourself like Sonic Mega Collection or something and play it. Anywho, a bunch of Sonic games have been bad, but then Sonic Unleashed came along, and it's just awesome, friggin' awesome, and I mean friggin' awesome. Get this game if you don't have it. I don't see how it's going back to the roots, but I don't care. It's great, and it could even be the light at the end of the bad Sonic games tunnel. This could be the light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I thought until I saw this on Sega's website. Sonic and the Black Knight. Ooh, let's look at some screenshots of it. Oh, Sonic has a sword. Oh, that's unfortunate. They ruined it. They had Sonic Unleashed, which should have been the light at the end of the tunnel, and then they blocked that light by making Sonic and the Black Knight. It hasn't even come out yet, but still, they've released screenshots that show Sonic with a sword, Knuckles with 2 swords. I mean, it's bad enough that you gave Shadow weapons. You can't go around giving Sonic and Knuckles weapons. That's just not right. What's wrong with Sega? They ruined it. You can't give Sonic a weapon. It's just not Sonic. Oh well. But still, Sonic Unleashed is great. If they could make more games like that, then Sonic could have his popularity back in a heartbeat. Alright? Sonic could easily be back on top. And that is my opinion of where the Sonic games stand. I think bring some retro characters back. I like the new characters. And also, having Sonic as the only playable character does not make it classic. Alright? That's my major point here. Anyway, SP Fnatic 62 signing off.